ਤੇ ਲਓ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗ੍ਰਾਹਮ ਮੈਕਗ੍ਰੈਗਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਬਜਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੇਸ਼ ਹੋਇਆ ਅੰਟਾਰੀਓ ਦਾ। ਗ੍ਰਾਹਮ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਸੀ and good morning.
Hey, good morning, Rajinder. Thanks for having me on the show.
Okay, so this time it is most of the people are saying that this budget is focusing on spending, and almost $200 billion spending has been provided in this budget by the Minister of Finance yesterday. So tell us the highlights of this budget, then we will discuss more about that.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're absolutely right. This is the biggest spending budget in Ontario history. We have big, serious problems to tackle as a province, and we need a big, serious budget in order to do it. But I was very happy when the finance minister released that the deficit this year is going to be a very modest $2.2 billion, with a plan to balance the budget over the next 2 years. So, you know, this budget really was the budget really was a vindication of what we've been saying the whole time. You know, there are some politicians that say the only way that you can spend money is by taxing people more. We know that when you tax people less, you grow the economy, you get people moving, they invest in the economy, and that drives government revenue. So we're very happy with the position that we're in fiscally. I think Ontario is leading North America right now in terms of economic growth coming out of COVID. We want to build a strong, prosperous Ontario for the residents for the future.
Okay, the major highlight of this budget for us people living in Brampton or this part of the GTA area is Highway 413. So almost $184 billion have been provided for the next 10 years, which is very much clearly indicating us that there will be construction of Highway 413 very soon. So what is the update you have?
Yeah, no, absolutely right. So of our $184 billion infrastructure plan, about $30 billion of that is earmarked for new highways all across Ontario. And I was very happy to see, you know, on a 250-page budget, on page 4, we talked about building the Highway 413. We're just really renewing the government's commitment to getting it done. So we're, you know, this highway is going to save commuters, you know, 30 minutes on a trip along the route. It's going to be massive for the trucking industry, going to be massive for economic development here in Peel region and across Ontario. We're still going through some of the planning stages and kind of putting the pieces together, but we're hoping to have really good news soon that we'll be able to share with you on progress on the Highway 413.
Okay, there is a big section in the community. They are opposing this highway because of many reasons. We know that they don't want this highway to be built. But another question is that how much is going to cost? So government is still not making it clear.
So the reason why we don't put out the specific costs and the specific figures for big infrastructure projects is because we don't want to give up any commercial advantage. You know, that's obviously sensitive information. A potential bidder could see, you know, the money that we'd earmarked for different projects, and it'll just end up driving up the costs and actually end up costing taxpayers more. Now, you know, once construction starts, once we're moving, we will be providing full, transparent public account of every dollar that's spent on the project. But just in this time when we're still, you know, looking to put it out to tender, we haven't put the cost. But, you know, we have made sure that the money is there. And I'll say, you know, $30 billion that we're spending almost on new highways, but we're also spending over $70 billion on new transit infrastructure as well. So, you know, historic subway investment, obviously in Toronto, the LRT that's going from Mississauga up to Brampton, you know, investments in extended GO train service so that people are able to get around. I was very happy to see renewed commitment to fare integration so that, you know, right now when I take the GO train into Queen's Park for work sometimes, and I'm able to have one fare between my Metrolinx card on the GO train and then when I get onto the subway. So that integration. So we're looking forward to having some more of those. You know, I know right now in Brampton we're talking about getting that integrated with other municipalities as well for Brampton Transit, and it's just a really, really exciting time to be a commuter.
Okay, another important sector is healthcare. So $48 billion have been provided for hospital infrastructure. So what are the plans for those private surgical centers which Premier announced earlier in the year?
Yeah, so first, in the budget, we continued our commitment and our funding for the second hospital for Brampton, the Peel Memorial Hospital. So that is on its way. I want to assure your viewers that is still our top priority. But we also want to make sure that the healthcare system works for everybody. We've got 50 capital projects going on right now in terms of hospitals. We're building 60,000 long-term care beds across Ontario. But we're also making sure that the healthcare system, you're able to interact with it in a way that makes sense. So we, your viewers will remember that we brought some more flexibility to pharmacists earlier in the year. We allowed pharmacists to prescribe for 13 common ailments, things like pink eye, hemorrhoids, etc. So instead of going to the doctor, saying, I have pink eye, give me a prescription, going back to the pharmacist, you're able to do that right in the pharmacy. Now, we announced in this budget, we're actually expanding that even further. So different things like acne and other kind of minor common ailments, about a dozen other minor ailments that are going to be also be able to prescribe at the pharmacy. Of course, we're also still expanding our community care. So we're looking at the expansion of more community MRI, CT scans. Obviously, we expanded the hours for the existing sites that exist. And in 2024, we're going to be looking at expanding hip and knee surgery so that they can happen out in community at a community clinic. So, and this is all about just making sure that if you don't have to go to a hospital, you don't go to a hospital. You're able to receive health care either at your home, out in community, and close by. And it's all, just to tackle that surgical backlog that is really, really hurting Ontarians right now.
Okay, there is a good news for seniors also as far as their guaranteed annual income this program is concerned, and more and more seniors are going to be added in this, but not right now, from July 24.
I'm sorry, Rajinder, could you say that again?
There is additional 1,000, there will be addition in the guaranteed annual income system of seniors. So more and more seniors now will be able to get this benefit.
Absolutely. So right now, about 200,000 of them are able to get the benefit. We're going to be expanding that to open up. We suspect when we lower the eligibility requirements that we'll have 100,000 more seniors that are able to take advantage of this benefit as well.
Okay, one thing which mostly people are not liking is abolishing the sick pay, paid sick pay. So what was the reason for that?
So, we hear this from the NDP and they say, we need to mandate every small business owner across Ontario to provide 10 paid sick days for workers, regardless of the sector. And, I'll note that Ontario was the first one to bring pandemic sick days forward during COVID-19. We're the first province in Canada to do that. But, if we mandate 10 paid sick days across the board, we're going to be putting tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of small businesses out of business. We want to make sure that we have a moderate approach and that we're able to grow the economy but also stand up for workers. But, I would say that there's a lot of worker protection that we're putting forward. We have the Working for Workers bill, the third bill coming from Minister McNaughton, which is doing things like enforcing employers that try to withhold passports from their temporary workers or from immigrant workers. They're going to be facing a big fine and penalties. We've allowed construction workers. So only 10% of construction workers are women right now. And a big reason for that is because there wasn't a mandate on construction sites to have a specific women's bathroom. So now, we want to make sure that workers have dignity, that they're the hygiene is there and everything else. So we're going to be mandating on construction sites that they have a men's bathroom and a women's bathroom, and that they have, proper plumbing, proper hygiene, just to give workers that kind of dignity. So we're putting these types of things forward to make sure that we're, standing up for workers and making sure that people are safe to work in Ontario. But at the same time, we can't just do, if we did everything that the NDP and the Liberals want us to do, Ontario would be out of business. And quite frankly, we know that our economy needs to be strong. That's how we pay for good things, is through driving prosperity. And we're going to make sure that the economy continues to thrive.
Okay, Graham, as we discussed in the beginning, it's almost 200 pages budget. we cannot discuss each and everything in one program. But anyway, thank you so much for giving us more details. Generally, PC governments are known for their conservative kind of fiscal budget, but this time it is really unprecedented that such a massive expanding budget has been submitted by the Minister of Finance. $200 billion are going to be spent in the coming years now, and as I said, most of them are on highways and for education, for healthcare. It's a good thing, more or less. Anything you want to add at the end?
Yeah, no, I think you said it beautifully. I mean, we're showing what we've said from the beginning, that we can grow our way to fiscal sustainability. There are politicians that will tell you that you have a false choice. You can either pay more taxes or you can get a cut in services. And what we've done is we've kept taxes low. We're actually lowering taxes even more on small businesses, but we're investing in services. We're putting the money where it needs to be in terms of healthcare, education, infrastructure. We can do both. We are doing both. We're building a strong Ontario for the future.
Okay. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.